There are two ways that I gather iron. If I'm really desperate for a lot of iron and I need it quick, I'll clear out the yellow rock zone and gather all the iron ore on the map. This is normally around 90 pieces of iron ore, which can be smelted into 45 iron bars. Many good players will recommend going back and forth between the red and yellow zone so that you come back with a huge load of iron ore. I strongly recommend not doing this. Even though you can get 150 iron ore from the red zone, I don't think it's worth it because of all the toxic spitters you will have to fight, and you always have to be on the lookout for the guy with the VSS. Furthermore, if you load all your inventory up with iron ore, then that means that you can't bring home a lot of other types of resources or items. These generic items may not seem that valuable, but when you need them, they're really hard to get quickly. So making sure to get them in each run can be crucial to having them when you need them. So I farm the yellow zone and then I go back to my base. My favorite way to get iron is to do it while I'm farming other things. I do this by going to the green zones. While the green zone only has 15 iron ore, it also has a lot of scrap metal, which over time adds up if you consistently collect it. Scrap metal is particularly amazing because when refining it, it requires half the amount of fuel than iron ore. I'll explain more in my upcoming video about fuel. Getting iron from the green zone like this is definitely slower, but it allows you to spend most of your time farming other things that you need and still provides you with a large amount of iron over time. The trick is developing the habit of doing this consistently so that you will have a steady supply rolling in. So those are the two ways I gather iron, but the trick to having lots of iron is not in how you gather it, but how you use it. First, never build iron tools unless you have to. They only have 50% more durability than normal tools, so the only thing you should use them for is breaking down level 2 walls of AI bases and gathering oak and copper, because you can't use normal tools to do those actions. For everything else, use normal tools. Second, never build armor that requires iron. At least not right now. Currently, Last Day in Earth system for armor is broken, to the point that if you're doing Bunker Alpha and other events, you will have way more armor than you could ever need. If for some reason you don't have any armor, I recommend crafting tier 1 armor to do the events that will give you the armor that you want. Finally, I suggest crafting as few weapons as possible. Almost all of the craftable items in this game cost a lot of iron, and while you may need to craft some while you're just starting out, you should eventually be able to get enough weapons from doing events to meet your needs. I will emphasize that you need to do these events efficiently in order to gain an adequate amount of weapons. For example, you should be able to do the shipwreck event using almost no weapons. If you don't know how to do that, make sure to check out my video on how to do the shipwreck event. You should also be able to gain lots of weapons by clearing Bunker Alpha. I have 2 playlists on my channel on how to do Bunker Alpha efficiently, and I plan to do a live stream on the newest tactics of Bunker Alpha here in the near future. Lastly, you should be able to get lots of weapons from airdrops, which require almost no weapons to collect, and they yield a really good weapon with 60% durability. If you don't know how to get 3 airdrops every day, be sure to check out my video number 13 because it'll teach you how. And not to beat a dead horse, but in addition to giving you lots of weapons, these events will also give you iron bars, especially Bunker Alpha. So if you gather iron in these ways and you don't spend it needlessly on iron tools, armor, and weapons, then you should have an abundance of leftover iron to allocate towards crafting tables and level 3 floors and doors. Well, that's it guys. I hope that helps. If it did, please give this video a like. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving this week. I'll see you next time.